Hey guys, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. Today I'm going to make a video that I've wanted to make for a long time since I've been coming in here and never quite got around to it till now. This one is going to be called Mopar or NoCar. I know when I've been wandering around in here, I've been Ford, a lot of Ford stuff. And mostly because that's my thing with Fords was only reignited, I don't know, about 10 years ago. In between that and a very long time ago, I was always a Mopar guy, mostly A-bodies and of course trucks, right? So I haven't really been looking for too much Mopar stuff in here because I'm, well, pretty well stocked up on that stuff. The Ford stuff, on the other hand, I've been in my glory in here with the Fords. But today we're going to wander around and not necessarily look at every Mopar car in the yard, but just look at a few of them, kind of some of them that will maybe trigger an old story from the past. Mopars have been a big part of my life for a very long time. How it all kind of went down was something like this. I started out a Ford guy. When I was a kid, it was Ford. And you want to know why I was a Ford guy? No reason really, aside from that the first car I ever bought was a Ford. So, you know, that got me going and started my love with big 68 Fords. Well, what happened was, as I got older and started screwing around and getting, you know, not involved, I guess, really, but kind of hanging out in the car scene around Toronto in the, I guess, the late 80s or the early 90s, we go to the street races, eh? Oh my gosh. Not like the stupid crap they do now, taking over intersections. It was, back in the day, it was just street racing, you know, out drag racing. 3 telephone poles, 4 telephone poles, whatever they decided on. And there was a few hot spots, you know. There was Victoria Park and Gordon Baker, East Beaver Creek and, I guess, Highway 7. So anyway, what happened was we'd go to these things on Friday and Saturday night. And there would be some, like, heavy cars there, man. I mean heavy cars. A lot of GM A-bodies with big blocks in them and stuff like that. And these were pretty serious cars, right? Well, these guys would come with these rusty old 340 darts and really give them a lot of problems, eh? Lots of times they'd actually beat them. And lots of other times they'd give them a good run for their money. And I looked at that and I go, man, I like that. Something just about those little Mopar A-bodies. So that's it kind of flicked a switch in me, you know. And then at the end of that one summer, when I was, in those days, we'd all look for a winter car every year, you know. It was easy to get a Stevie Wonder safety in those days. And we'd just get an old car, run it for the winter, and kind of scrap it or whatever in the spring, right? So it was the fall, and I gave Deb the buy and sell or whatever, and I said, here, find an old American car with a V8 and a 4-speed, and we'll get that for the winter. And, well, what she picked out was a car like this, a 1970 Plymouth Duster. It was red, and it was kind of funky. It had a swapped-in 273 V8 with a 4-speed transmission and the big 10-inch drums. Somebody had chopped up a Formula S Barracuda or something and put everything in this Duster body, right down to the 8 3/4 rear end. It was a pretty nice job they did, swapping all the stuff onto it. And, well, that's kind of where my love affair with A-body Mopars started. And for years and years and years after that, in the following spring, I guess, I sold my convertible. And all I drove for years was Mopar A-bodies, you know. And then that fateful day about 10 years ago when I found Landshark, our 68 XL convertible on eBay. And then I've gone bonkers with the big Fords again. But yeah, this is pretty cool. This old Duster brings back a lot of memories. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm coming from. Why I want to make a video about Mopars. And like I said, I'm certainly not going to show you everyone that's in here. But we'll stop and look at a few of them and chew the fat over them a little bit and see where it goes. Look at this nice Plymouth. What year is this thing? 67? Wow, 2-door hardtop. A 66 maybe? Look, it had bucket seats with the buddy seat in the middle. Oh, it's a 68. But it's not the fastback, right? It's just a two-door hardtop. Sorry, I should zoom out a bit, eh? So we can get a better look at these cars. There we go. Yeah, that would have been a nice car in its day. Here's another 70 Duster, and it's like mostly a one piece. It's original paint. It's F8 green, original paint. Look, it's still got the, there you go. It was sold new at Don Earl Chrysler in Peterborough. Look, it's got the smooth 70 Duster trunk lid on it. This car really isn't that bad. Like, it's still got some semblance of the floor in it. Had a vinyl top. It had the factory, all the factory moldings on it. It had a tail stripe. Yeah, this was probably a nice car. Fender top turn signals, they're gone. Yeah, somebody's been in here at this thing. I don't see V8 badges on it, so it wasn't a V8. But you can plainly see here, it's still got its original decals on. The Valiant badges are gone. But that's an original paint F8 green 70 Duster. Isn't that cool? And that's what color my 70 Duster. It was red when we got it. Underneath the red, it was plum crazy purple. And underneath the plum crazy purple, we got down to the original color, which was F8 green, right? And Deb and me both kind of liked that. We thought it would look sharp with the black interior and black stripes and lots of chrome on it. So yeah, that's what we went with. I'll put a link in the description box below to the playlist for our 70 Duster, because we haven't made a video on it for a while. But I should get that back out soon and do something with it. Geez, I come up this side of the 68 Plymouth. The darn bucket seats are still in it. Wow. Not too many bucket seats left in here. I mean, there's bucket seats in cars that only came with bucket seats, like Gremlins and Mustangs and stuff, you know. But to find like in a Mopar C body, I think there's another pair of them in here somewhere. We'll see if we can find those in a Chrysler 300, I think. Here's another one that makes me smile. This 69 Dodge Dart GT. Because of it makes me think of our 69 GTS, right? And what a story that is. Deb and me had just got married. We'd been married a couple of years. And we bought our first house. We had just moved into our first house. And I went down to cruise night. There used to be a Kmart at Kingston Road and Eglinton in Scarborough. And we went down to cruise night. I think it was on a Sunday night we used to go there. And this guy comes pulling in this silvery gray 69 GTS. Totally, completely original. Still had the belted tires with the red stripes on them and everything, you know. I had never seen anything like that in my life. And unfortunately for me, it had a for sale sign in it. OMG. So, I didn't know what to do. All I knew was we had to have that car no matter what. Oh, look at that. There's a little cat. Hello, kitty cat. There's a little black cat. Sorry, there he is. Hi. How are you? What you doing? Are you from a farm around here? Hey. Hi. Okay, I won't bother you. Cute little guy. Anyway, so we finally figured out a way to make it work, and we bought the car. And that's another one. I'll put a link in the description box below to our videos about the 69 GTS. It's got quite a story. It's quite a car. There's stuff about it that we didn't figure out until after we had it. It's a pretty neat one. There he is. It's not a really skitterish cat. Like usually, you know, barn cats and that, it's hard to even get near him. This one's letting me get near him. I just want to make sure it doesn't have a bunch of kittens in this car or something, right? Hi. Are you okay? Okay. Off you go. No, I think we're good. It's just a little cat. Here's a Plymouth Scamp, 1971. I had a Scamp. It was a 73, and let me tell you, I really like that car. It's one of my favorite cars I've ever had. It was a gold 73 Scamp with a 225 6 in it. Had the thing for years, man. Went everywhere in it. And then I fixed it all up, put a V8 in it, and sold it. And, well, that guy destroyed it. Broke my heart. That's why I hate selling cars. I don't mind selling them so long as they go far, far away and I never see them again. Because that broke my heart seeing what happened to that little Scamp. It was such a nice little car. That's what we like to see. Another one was sold on it. Going down the hill. Awesome. I've always loved trucks, and back, oh man, I don't even know how long ago, I painted a 71 Charger for a guy, and he traded me a truck for it. And in the description box below, again, I'll leave a link to our little 76 D100 pickup, because that's the truck that I got in that deal that has been in and out of my life for a very long time. I got that truck, and then I got the car trailer, and it was a little exciting pulling the car trailer with that little half-ton truck. So we went and we found a really nice 78 3/4 ton club cab truck, and we used that for years and years and years until we started getting diesel trucks. Check this out, this great big 71 Dodge. 71 or 72, I guess. Back when my brother and me were doing demo derbies, these big C-body Mopars were our favorite, our absolute favorite. I'll show you a little trick we used to do on them if I find one that doesn't have the front sheet metal on it. But what's unique about this car is we bought one of these off a guy in Scarborough. It was a 71 Polara, and it had a 360 in it. Well, that was 1971 was the first year for the 360, and it only had a 4-inch bore. But the first blocks, they were thick wall blocks. They cast them on a 340 water jacket, so they were extra meaty around the bores. And on top of that, they used the 340 J cylinder heads. They had 188 valves, big ports. Oh, those engines were so good. We used that engine, that 71 360, in our derby cars for years and years and years. We called it the bitch. It just wouldn't die, man. 8 pipes sticking through the hood with blue flames coming out of them. It was a thing to behold, man. It was unbelievable. We even started when they downsized the cars and would only let us run 1980 or newer. We put a truck oil pan on the damn thing and started putting it in Crown Vics. And it worked pretty well on them too. With the truck oil pan, you could set it way back, you know. And that worked out really well. Okay, here's one. It's a little bit newer than the ones we used to derby, but same basic idea. So what we found out was, of course, the only thing bad about these 60s cars was that they had these flimsy, you know, type of sheet metal bumpers, right? The 70s cars had those great big impact absorbing bumpers with the rebar in behind them. They were made out of heavier metal, and they had those big telescopic shocks. So what my brother and me figured out was you could take the shock bumper off a Cordoba, a little smaller car, right? And if we blew these holes out, we blew the ends of these rails out and put a round hole in it, the shocks of the Cordoba bumper would slide right in, and then we could weld, because they'd have a flat plate on them too. We'd weld that around there, and I think we would drill and put a bolt through here too, you know? And the beauty of the Cordoba bumper, because it was a little bit smaller, right, than these gigantic C-bodies, so the ends of it were tucked in a little bit. They weren't sticking way out to get hooked on stuff. Oh, that was one of our great ideas. So we would, for every one of these that we derbied, we'd have to buy a Cordoba too. We were buying Cordobas where they wouldn't even take them off the trailer. We'd just bring them home, pull the front bumper off, and then take them straight to the scales. You got to remember, that's back in the day where an expensive scrap car was $100, not like it is now. Starting in kind of the early or mid 70s, they started putting these big impact absorbing bumpers on everything. So we derbied a few of these. We call them shock bumper C-bodies, right? But I don't know, we just seem to do better with the old ones with the shock bumper on the front. I find the back of them curled up better, and it was a little bit lighter car. It was a little bit more agile out there, you know. But anyway, we still did okay with some of these. And aside from another guy, Roger, who I still see once in a while, we were the only two guys really using Mopars, like exclusively. There was a lot of guys that would use whatever they could find, and once in a while it'd be a Mopar, sometimes it'd be a Ford, but you know, we kind of stuck with Mopars. Here's one. This thing brings back some funny memories. It's a blue, an old Plymouth Volare or a Dodge Aspen, and when I was working, we had one of these. It was the exact same color as this. It was a taxi package, a fleet car, and it had a 225 in it, and we used it for a parts runner. And oh, look at that. There's a Volare subframe there. We used this thing for a parts runner for years. Yeah, it was just like this, even the same color. That's, woo, hey, Volare guys, look at that. A manual brake setup for a Volare. Wow, you won't find too many of those. They almost all had power brakes. That is pretty cool. Well, there you go. It's 3 on the tree, I believe. Is it? I don't see a park neutral thing on the. Let's look at the. Oh no, it's an automatic. The park neutral indicator is in the cluster. I got all excited there that we might have a set of Volare pedals in here, and maybe an overdrive 4-speed, you know. But nope, automatic. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Power steering, manual disc brakes. That's a cool thing to find. Here's a neat one. This is from my friend Milt. He told me he really likes this car. This is a 65 Plymouth Savoy wagon. This here is the new 65 Plymouth C-body wagon. And this one is really neat because it is an absolute, this is what we call a Milt car. Milt, I know how he loves his cars. Absolutely plain with nothing at all because they're the most reliable and most efficient, and they need to be kind of unique. Well, this one's kind of unique. It has absolutely nothing. I think it has, the only option this car has is an automatic transmission, which is gone. And it's got there a 198 slant 6. It's not even a 225. Unbelievable. Wonder if we could see the inside of it. It is a really cool car. I have to say I like it also. Did it have a radio, or did it just have a radio delete plate there? I'm guessing it had a delete plate. Not much to it. Doesn't even have a padded dash. What a cool car. This is a neat one too. 68 Plymouth, 2-door post. It had an automatic in it, but I can see it's got manual steering. Manual brakes. Can't see if it was a V8 or a 6. No, it looks like it was a V8, probably a small block. 68, that would be a 318. First year for the LA 318. So wandering through here and telling my silly stories. Yeah. Oh. Another little chipmunk. Most of the Mopars I like, you'll find are from the, you know, the late 60s and the early 70s. Here's another great big old C-body. This is a 66 Polara or a Monaco. It's got a 318 poly in it. Manual steering, manual brakes. So it's just a 2-door hardtop. Pretty plain car. Bench seat interior. Still good stuff on this car, though. It's got all the body side molding still on it. You can see there the badge. It's a Polara. Look, it's got the little V8 badge on the side there. There's the other one on the other fender. Pretty cool. There's still so much good stuff in here. Another great big Dodge, like the stuff we used to derby, you know. They were our favorite, 65 to 68 C bodies. They were excellent. They were nice and square. I don't know, they just worked really well for that. And man, I can't believe how many of them are in here. It got to the point where we were starting to have a hard time finding them, you know. Well, because they were all in here. Paul could have made a fortune selling cars to the derby guys. Here's an 8-1, an old Dodge crew cab pickup. Hard to see if, like what year it was. It's a late 70s one, I think. Well, maybe we can check out the taillights. That'll let us know. Let's see here. Yeah, it's a 70s one. It's got the old style taillights in it. It was probably a 1-ton. Big work truck. Oh, you can see there it's painted MTO yellow underneath the green. It had a... it's got the big hump in the floor of pedals, so it had a 435 transmission in it. The engine's long gone. Who knows what it could have been. In these trucks, it could have been a big block, right? But probably if it was a municipal one, probably more likely it was a 318 or a 360. Still got the pedals in it. Something about this style of Dodge truck that has always appealed to me. I think these ones went right up till about, from sometime in the 60s up to about 1971. I love on the fleet side ones, this little detail. This little detail on the back end of the box there. Just kind of subtle, but just, you know, looks nice. This is a nice truck. I like this. This would have been a great truck back in its day. How about this? I think it's a 64 Chrysler. In there. Oh yeah. A 383. It's still sitting in there. Got the fancy pedals. Push button transmission. Windsor. Chrysler Windsor. Belvedere 2, 2-door hardtop. Still lots of stuff left on this, man. Somebody sawed the cluster out of it. I tried to get one of these once. It was even this color, and was at a used car lot down in Scarborough, and the guy just didn't want much to have with the deal I was trying to make. I can't blame him. I was probably broke. I was probably trying to swindle him. But hey, you know, it is what it is. There's where that great big old truck came out of. Nice work getting that out of there. Big 68 Dodge wagon. Look at that. We only ever derbied one big station wagon. It was a shock bumper Dodge Royal Monaco, 1975 or 76. It did pretty good. It folded. It broke in the middle once, and it instead of the back going up, the back went down, and it kind of TP'd the car a little bit. But we fixed it and ran it a few more times after that. It was okay. See what else we can find back here. There's a 65 or 66 Chrysler with a 63 Ford sitting on top of it. Yeah, these are nice cars. My brother really likes these. These are his favorites. Here's one of these Cordobas with the bumper already off, like I was telling you. So you can see here how it bolts to the front of the end of the frame rail here. So we would just take these two bolts out and the one through the side, and it just fit perfect on those old C bodies. The Derby guys have been through here, I think, and grabbed a lot of those. Holy moly, look at this. An old 14-inch American racing wheel. It is stuck in the ground, and I think this tree may have got its grip on it. Look at this here. This Cordoba is neat. It's got a big block in it. The first couple of years of Cordobas, you could get them with a 400. And even though it had the lean burn system on it, and they were kind of a doggy 400, at least it's set up for a big block. So you can pull that thing out. Yeah, put a nice 383 or a 440 or something in it. And hey, a big block B body is a big block B body. And then what you do is you drop the subframe down one bolt at a time. And Mopar Performance used to sell an upgrade kit to replace the rubber K-frame isolators with cast iron ones. They were just production line parts for police cars, right? But you could add them to any Cordoba, or I think they fit Velaris too. Any of those FMJ body cars. This was probably a nice car. You could see it had bucket seats and an armrest, air conditioning. I see an AM FM radio in there. Probably a pretty decent car in its day. I wouldn't doubt it's got an 8 1/4 sure grip in it. Yeah, not bad, eh? The old Chrysler Cordoba. It's got cruise control. Yeah, this is a pretty jammed up car. Oh, it's got a fuel pacer too. Look at that. That right there, that white thing at the end of my finger, that's the fuel pacer. It was a little gizmo that, you know, everybody was trying to save gas in the late 70s and the 80s. And see the fender top turn signals here. If the vacuum signal got too low because you were booting it too much, it would light that up, fuel pacer. And I think some of them had also an idiot light on the dash for the fuel pacer that would light up and tell you to take your foot off the gas if you wanted to save gas. Here's a cool one. It's hard to see because the jungle is trying its best to reclaim it. But this is a 74. I'm pretty sure it's a 74 Plymouth Satellite Sebring Plus. I know it's a Sebring Plus because I could see the holes around the wheel opening for the moldings on it. So I had one of these, and what was cool about the one I had, even though I didn't have it long, my very first job delivering auto parts, a car like this belonged to a guy at the old Tervel Brothers Sunoco in Highland Creek, just on the far east end of Scarborough there, down by the lake. And he had this car, and I bought it off him, and then stupid me lost the ownership. And by the time I figured out I'd lost the ownership, the fellow had left there and gone on to pursue another career, and it was a disaster. Anyway, at the end of it, how it worked out in the end, I had that Satellite Sebring Plus and the 70 Duster sitting beside each other in my dad's backyard. I still lived at home then. I was just a kid. And I could only keep one of them. So because I'd lost the ownership for this, it was the Duster that we kept. And well, I guess all these years later, we still have it. Hey, folks. Oh, it's got one busted tooth in it. I was going to say there's a good grill here. But anyway, the story of this car is it was the coolest car I'd ever seen. It was a 74. And in 1974, they didn't have that slime lime color anymore. But they had this really nice kind of a limey pastel green. It had kind of a lime color to it, but it was a little more pastel-y than the old slime lime. So anyway, this thing, check this out. It was, and this is all factory, okay? It was all factory. The car was that pastel-y, slimy green. It had a white vinyl top, white bucket interior. It was buckets and console. So in those days, white interior meant white seats, white door panels, white headliner. Everything else, the dash, the carpet, was black. It really looked sharp, right? And this thing had a factory 400 Magnum, a pistol grip 4-speed, and a 323 sure grip rear end in it. Yeah, what a car. by the time I got it, it was red. Somebody had painted it red, and it had a 440 and an automatic in it. The original 400 Magnum was long gone, but the guy still had the course spline 4-speed, the pistol grip shifter, all the linkage, everything. It was in the trunk of the car. So I dragged this thing home, and oh well, it just didn't work out right. So we ended up using the 440 and something else. I made sure the course spline 4-speed found a good home, and that was the end of that. But it was a really cool car. I don't think you'd ever find another one option like that. Oh, and I forgot, the damn thing had factory air conditioning too, which, I mean, on a Canadian car, that was really rare back in those days, especially a performance-oriented one, you know. It was just a weird car. I wish it could have worked out, but the other thing worked out. And like I said, still got my Duster today, and I still love it. No wonder Nick loves this place so much. There is 69 and 70 fuselage Plymouths everywhere in this place, and he's got a herd of them. How about this little 66 Valiant here? And this just triggers another story. So back years ago, we have a 71 Valiant. Again, link to the playlist in the description box below. So we bought this 71 Valiant off a fellow who lived in Leaside, which is an area kind of in the east end of Toronto. And okay, whatever. That's a long story. But sitting behind it in the driveway was this blue 66 Valiant. So anyway, I asked the guy if it was available, and I can't remember what happened, but we didn't bother with it. So years go by, and my dad is down at cruise night, and this fellow walks up to him and says, oh, yeah, he says, you guys like old cars. He says, I've got an old car I need to get rid of. It's sitting in my driveway for years. It's a 66 Valiant. And my dad says, oh, I know just the guy that would be interested in that. So he comes and tells me, and he starts describing it and where it is. And I say, I know that car. It's sitting in the driveway where we bought our 71 Valiant. And I mean, this is about, man, at least 10 years later, maybe more. So anyway, we get the car trailer and go down and look at it. And it was kind of like this one. It had been sitting in this driveway for so long, and it sunk down. The rocker panels were sitting on the ground. And I knew it was going to be a job to get this thing up the trailer, eh? So I backed the ramps up. I backed the trailer up till the ramps were literally touching the front tires. And it took us 2 hours to get that car to go that 19 or 20 feet to be sitting up on the trailer, because it was just like a piece of carpet. As it went up, it was starting to fold and bend, and we had to keep putting the jack under it and shoving the middle of it all back up in. It was pretty bad. But anyway, the fellow told me all about the car when we were there, and he said, look, he goes, this is a special car. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, it's a blue 4-door 66 Valiant. He says, my father bought this brand new, and he special ordered it. I said, okay, say more. He said, it's got a 225 in it, not a 170 or a 198. He says he ordered it with heavy-duty suspension, so it came with 14-inch wheels and a front sway bar. And he says he ordered it with a 294 Sure Grip rear axle. And I'm thinking, okay, that's pretty rare to find a Sure Grip in a 7 1/4. But, I mean, I looked under the front of it, and there was the sway bar, and it had 14-inch wheels on it. And I kind of think this one does too. These cars came standard with 13-inch wheels, right? So anyway, we get the thing home and we took it apart, and yeah, for sure, the 7 1/4, little 7 1/4 rear end had a 294 Sure Grip gear set in it. Super cool. And that Sure Grip unit is in our 71 Valiant now, although it has the 323 gears that the Valiant was born with attached to it now. But yeah, so that's another cool story. Another car in here that makes me think of something from back in the day. And this car wasn't too bad neither. I see it's got a radio in it. It's an automatic. What engine has this guy got? Let's look. Where's that bypass hose? Yeah, it's a 225 in this one too. So there you go. This is probably a pretty good car. Can we see? Does it have a sway bar? I gotta look now. Curiosity's gonna get the best of me. Because that's on these early A bodies, a sway bar yeah, good luck finding that. A sway bar is not a common thing, and guys are looking for them. I guess now it's not, you know, it's not the old days anymore. There's probably aftermarket solutions to sway bars on these. You don't really have to look for this factory stuff, but factory stuff is still good. The lower control arms on a factory sway bar car have factory brackets on them for it rather than something you have to add on. It's just a better way of doing it. I mean, even if you want to put a big aftermarket sway bar on, if you've got a set of factory sway bar control arms that you can attach it to, it's just so much better. Here's another Cordoba. Oh, this one's got a big block in it too. Wow. And that makes me think of another funny story. When I told you about my 73 Scamp, right, earlier in the video, and it was this color. It was this nice Chrysler gold color, and it had a slant 6 in it. So we fixed it all up and gave it a paint job and put a new carpet in it. And I was trying to sell it, but I literally could not give this car away. So I said, man, I got a V8 K-frame. I got some exhaust. I can make this thing a V8 almost for free, right? So I just need an engine. So we used to go down to, any of you know the east end of Toronto, down Kingston Road, Duckworth's Fish and Chips. We used to go there for dinner every Friday night, right? So we go down to Duckworth's on a Friday night, and a couple of places over from the fish joint, there was a little garage, and there's this old Cordoba sitting in front that you could tell the springs had gone through the floor. The back end of it was all hunkered down, and it was sitting there with no plates, right? So I go over, the guy was still there. I said, can I have a look at that car? He goes, yeah, sure, knock yourself out. So I popped the hood. Look, it had a 360 in it. I said, does it run? He goes, yeah, the thing runs and drives great. It's just the springs went through the floor. I go, what do you want for it? He goes, $100. I said, okay. I pulled 100. The money couldn't come out of my pocket fast enough, right? And I said to the guy, okay, I got to call my tow truck buddy. The guy goes, you look like a good guy here. Just use my dealer plate. How far away do you live? I go, just over by Morningside. No problem. Bring the plate right back. So, man, we hopped in the thing, drove it to my place, whistled back, handed the guy his plate. He was happy. We were happy. So we grabbed the front bumper for the Derby cars, and I pulled the 360 and the transmission out, and we slid that in the 73 Scamp. And man, what a fun car. What a fun car that was. There'll be a few of you watching here that know me and will remember that car and how much fun it was with the 360 in it. Oh yeah, it'd go like a scalded cat, man. We stuck, it was just a 2-barrel, but I had a cast iron factory. It was a 340 intake or something, a spread bore one. And we stuck a thermal quad on it, and I think I had an old set of headers I'd gotten somewhere, and we cobbled up some exhaust for it. Yeah, the thing would really move, man. The only problem with it was it still had the little 7 1/4 rear end. And okay, they weren't bad behind a V8. Like, they would kind of stand up. Those 7 1/4 would stand up to a 273 or a stock 2-barrel 318. But you start pumping a 4-barrel 360 through it, and it's living on borrowed time. It was okay while I had it because I respected the rear end. But the guy I sold it to, I think the first day he had it, he grenaded it. But that's okay. He went up to see Nigel there and got an 8 3/4 for it. Oh, just another funny story from back in the day. And a lot of these old cars in here, they bring back a lot of other memories of all my buddies. We had kind of a little informal Mopar group around West Hill there. There was a whole bunch of us, and we just had a good old time back in those days, you know. We didn't take the cars too seriously. We didn't get too bent out of shape about them. We just had fun. And, you know, that's what this is all about, eh? More than anything, have fun with these old cars. Because as you can see, they ain't here forever, right? So enjoy them. That's what it's all about. This here, remember I've showed you this 73 Coronet before, and I said, this thing has got the look of a fleet car. No, I think it's a 71 Coronet. Pardon me, judging by the hole for the marker light. It's a 71 Coronet. So now I finally figured out to, yeah, See? RT41C. So that R is, okay, that's a Coronet. T for taxi package. So this car was a factory taxi package. That explains the plain seats, plain door panels, lack of any trim on it. 41, that's a four-door sedan. C, it had a 225 in it, and it would have been a heavy-duty 225, like a truck one with a double roller chain and a PH8 filter and all that stuff. 1971, R, she was built in Windsor. Cool car. So we got a 71 taxi package Coronet, and this thing would have had heavy-duty everything. It's probably got great big, it probably had manual adjust Roadrunner brakes on it. It could have, it probably had an 8 3/4 rear end. It would have had a slant 6 with a 727. All heavy-duty stuff in this. I had a Dart taxi package car one time, and it was a pretty neat car. Also, if you pull the headliner down, you'll find that there's a loose wire in there for the taxi sign. There would have been a wire for the taxi sign, and in the glove box there would have been a little supplemental thing for taxi package cars, and it would have given you measurements to measure in this far and across that far and drill, and you'll find the wire taped up inside the roof for the taxi light. And it may have had, the Dart that I had big pull straps on the back doors, and this car probably had them, but it's hard to tell. And we don't know if this car was ever even actually used as a taxi. The taxi package Dart that I had, it had been one owner since new. It was just, I guess they wanted a heavy duty car or whatever, and they'd bought this taxi package Dart. It was a really cool car. I wish I could have saved it, but man, she was rough. Yeah, so under the hood of the thing, we can see all that's left of the fender tag is the 2 screws. But it had power steering, and it had manual drum brakes. And I'm pretty sure, like I said, they'd be the 11-inch Roadrunner not self-adjusting, the manual adjust Roadrunner brakes. We could see here, there's the neutral safety connection. So it had an automatic, guaranteed a 727. And oh, also some more things about the inside. Like, they called these seats heavy duty. So it had heavier vinyl than they would use on a normal car. They had extra springs in them. Even the vinyl floor mat, like these would have had the rubber floor, we call it. Even that stuff, it's twice as thick as what they put in a normal car. You could clean the inside of these things with a fire hose, right? Really cool car, a taxi package car. And they'll be like a police car. If you really get into and start looking at the unit body, there'll be beads of MIG weld, where normally there would just be spot welds. It may have a reinforced K-frame in it. All kinds. The heaviest, dutiest stuff that they could put in these things is what these taxi package cars got. Because they were, you know, they had a tough life. That was a lot of fun wandering around here, kind of reminiscing about the old days with the Mopars. We used to have so much fun, man. My place, my house in Scarborough, there was always old cars all over the place, people coming and going, and we were working on cars, we were parting out cars, we were doing everything there. It was a hoot. And then my place, it wasn't too far up the 404 to National Mopars, their old place in Newmarket, and we'd go and hang around there with you know, Nigel and the guys up there. We had so much fun. And then, like I said, to wander around here, all those memories come back. I'm still you know, in my heart, although I screw around with Fords big time, I think I'm still probably a Mopar guy. I consider myself a Mopar guy with a Ford problem. Does that make sense to you? I don't know. That's how I rationalize it. Anyway, thanks to Travis and Nurse Scrap Metal on behalf of all car people for doing this for us, opening up this yard and letting us get in here and forage this stuff. This is Thursday, so this will be at the conclusion. You'll be seeing this anyway at the conclusion of the first day that the yard is open. So we got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to go. I'm going to be pretty busy in here during the days. I'm going to try and get a couple of videos made, so you got something to look at Friday night and Saturday night. And then Sunday, I'll probably do a kind of wrap-up video. And then Monday, there will be our loot from, you know, the October opening of Jackson's video. And then we'll see where things go from there, right? Anyway, I'd like to thank you for tuning into the Claremont Classic Garage. I hope you'll come back and see us again next time. And until then, I'm Kevin, saying so long for now.